A sleep-deprived ghost falls into your arms, Street Edition. Written by Rosalie. Chapter 3. Not hallucinating. Summary. Tim checks Danny's pulse again, and it's gone! He has not gone crazy. So basically, Danny's still kind of freaked out after looking at the map of the USA. He didn't recognize it. Tim tried to calm him down, but that was kind of hard if he didn't know the reason it happened in the first place. Danny, if you tell me what's causing your distress, I can help, Tim pleaded, while Danny was still pacing around his living room and mumbling something Tim couldn't hear. Yes! I need to recreate the weapon and shoot myself with it, Danny exclaimed. Luckily, he had seen the blueprint once. Tim was kind of speechless of this very unsafe conclusion. Hey Tim, do you have any toaster you don't need? Or like wires and scraps? Now, how could Tim save Danny from killing himself? Distraction. Do you like video games? Tim asked out of the blue. Danny blinked in stunned silence at Tim. For the sudden change in topic, he got whiplashed. Oh yeah, me, Sam, and Tucker used to play Doom all the time, he reminiscent. Well, I don't think I have Doom, but we can play Mario Kart or something, Tim commented. Sure, what is it about? Danny asked. Distraction successful. He can totally keep Danny from killing himself. The whole rest of the evening was spent playing Mario Kart, until Tim's alarm started to ring. It was almost time for his patrol. Tim would have cursed himself for not having looked into his cold kidnapping case, if it wasn't for the fun he had with Danny. But he also was called in by Barbara to help with a stakeout today. Since Batman was with the Justice League, someone needed to make sure that Damien didn't kill anyone on his case. So with the excuse that that's his sleep alarm, he left Danny to his own devices. He seemed to be content testing out some of his other games. When he came back at 4 in the morning, Danny was sleeping with control in hand. The TV was still showing the last game he started. Tim smirked at the sight, before he had the idea to make sure he hadn't hallucinated. His pulse was gone again. Breathing too, just gone. Well, it literally spooked him when he turned around and heard an intake of air. Only one intake of air is not enough for a person to survive. Staring contemplatingly at Danny, he was definitely a more interesting case than the cold kidnapping. Yeah, Tim was definitely making a case file for Danny. To make really sure of it, he checked Danny any time he found him asleep. In the 3 following days, when Danny was asleep, he just had no pulse and breathed only once per hour. His current theory was that Danny either was a matter or something other than human. Tim also found Danny taking apart his toaster and mumbling something about not having enough parts. When he spotted Tim, he jumped in his way to the entrance of the apartment. Hey Tim, do you know a place here in Gotham to get scrap metal and wires? He asked excited. Yes, I do, but I won't tell you because you would make a weapon to kill yourself, Tim stated, which for some reason caused Danny to giggle. Come on, please. You know your way around here, and it's not to kill myself. I already did that, Danny defended his argument and mumbled the last part. Shooting yourself won't bring you to that radioactive town, Tim explained, exasperated. Radioactive? Danny blinked, confused. Danny, I need to get to work. We can talk about it later, Tim argued. What are you even working as? Like you could be the same age as me. Why are you not in high school? Danny questioned. I graduated early. Now I need a coffee. It is too early for this, Tim complained. In the corner of his eyes, he saw Danny smirk as Tim closed the apartment door, sighing, he's truly too tired for this. After getting his well-deserved coffee and making his way to Wayne Enterprise, he heard a sharp intake of air right next to him. Right in front of the building, he looked around, but there was no one there. Other sounds like growls, giggles, and groans appeared around the day. Tim was fairly sure there was at least something following him around. Others heard the being too, and looked around to locate where it came from. It caused a whole fight in 2 of his board meetings today, just by giggling and groaning. People suspected each other. He went to an empty room to confront this being. Feeling around, Tim got a surprised yelp from it, which caused the being to suddenly be visible. It was a teen, with white hair and Lazarus green glowing eyes. After a moment of staring, the teen looked down at himself. "Oops," was the only thing the teen said. "Who are you, and what do you want from me?" Tim questioned sternly. The teen looked back up to Tim. The teen rubbed the back of his neck. Tim in turn narrowed his eyes at him. He looked around for a moment as if to make sure no one hears him before stretching his arm out to shake. "I'm Phantom. Nice to meet you," Phantom introduced himself. Tim crossed his arms and just continued to stare. "Okay, no handshakes. Then, got it." Phantom retreated his arm awkwardly. "So you're the CEO of Wayne Enterprise? Would you know where to find scrap metal and wires? Is that the only reason you stalked me?" Tim asked disbelievingly. "Yeah. As like the biggest company in Gotham, I was thinking you guys had some." He smiled sheepishly. "Do you have money to pay for it?" Tim questions. No. The only money I got is too outdated," Phantom confessed. "What do you mean outdated?" the young CEO inquires. Phantom started to fiddle with a pocket on his hazmat suit. Why was he wearing a hazmat suit? "I compared it to the money from a guy who wanted to rob me this one time, so I don't think I can use this, can I?" Phantom explained while handing over his money to Tim. "Well, that's indeed old money. So old, in fact, that if Tim's parents were alive, they would be happy to get their hands on it." "Yeah, you can only use that with archaeologists," the young CEO comments. "Where do I find some, and do you think they have wires and scrap metal?" he replies cheerfully. There was a knock at the door. "Timothy Drake Wayne, your next meeting is in 5 minutes. When Tim looked back where Phantom was, he noticed the teen was gone. "Coming, Tam," the young CEO replied. Finally home, Tim thought as he returned to his apartment. Danny came running out of the bathroom with a panicked expression on his face. Tim, you need to hide me from your dad!" Danny exclaimed. "Wait, what are you talking about?" Tim questions, very confused. "I don't want another billionaire trying to adopt me. Please hide me from your dad," Danny pleaded, which made Tim snort, and it turned into fully laughing. "Hey, it's not funny. It's a serious problem I'm dealing with." Danny tried to defend himself. It miserably failed. "Also, please tell me your dad doesn't have a secret basement or something." Tim almost choked after hearing Danny say that. "One crazed up Fruit Loop is enough to deal with, thank you very much," Danny said indignantly. After coming down from his laugh attack, he promised Danny he wouldn't let Bruce adopt him.